All right, so well, first off, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit the like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. Leave a review. You already know. But the Winter Olympics will be remembered, at least to me, for both Team USA hockey teams beating Team Canada for gold medals. I feel like there was uh, the games were just great cinema. They lived up to the hype. We know that there's obviously a competitive rivalry between USA and Canada when it comes to hockey. You know, Canadians obviously, hockey is like their sport. The US are obviously the country with the NHL, seen as the best hockey league in the world. So, with both games, great drama. They both go into overtime. With the women, we get a Megan Keller winner to send it to give the women the gold medal with the 2-1 win. For the men, we get a Jack Hughes goal in overtime to give the men the win 2-1. Both games were played 3-on-3. Not really gonna get into that. I feel like 3-on-3, 5-on-5, it's fine with me. It didn't take away from, I guess, the greatness of either game. I know it's been a conversation since then, but I'm fine with it. Team USA, the men, they win. They have the Johnny Gaudreau moment because obviously a couple of years ago, I think at this point, he was killed riding his bike, was hit by a driver or something like that. And, he was somebody that a lot of people figured would probably be on this Olympic team. His family was there watching the game. So, they skate around with the jersey. Then for their team photo, they bring Johnny Gaudreau's kids down. Great moment. Obviously, everybody loved it. Now, they go into the locker room where they celebrate, which is what they should do. Obviously, winning gold over Team Canada is a big deal. They get a phone call from the president, who invites them to the State of the Union address, which will be on Tuesday night. You know how State of Address goes. The president will be up there speaking. There'll come a moment where, kind of like the special invitations kind of get worked into the speech. Camera pans to them, everybody claps, you know how it goes. So the men will be there. Unless something changes between now and Tuesday night. While on the phone with the men, the president drops the remark that just to let you know, I do believe I would probably be impeached if I didn't invite the women's team as well. Which isn't funny at all, obviously. But, some of the players laughed about it. Trump said it in a way that it was joking, which I don't know why you'd have to joke about that. Like, you're talking to the men's team, invite them, get off the phone. Like, what are we doing here? And, Kash Patel, the FBI director, is partying with them in the locker room. Odd scene, but is what it is. So that moment, obviously, gets out there to social media. A lot of people see it. I know that there are people who are disappointed in the men laughing at the joke, quote unquote. So I feel like the attention then turned to the women. Like, what would they do when obviously Trump invites them as well? So we've learned that the women have declined the invitation. They're saying they have prior engagements as to why they're not going to show up. To me, they wouldn't even have to go into that. Decline it, hang up, move on. Because if you're going to sit there and joke about inviting them when you're talking to the men, then you didn't really want to invite them to begin with. And so, once again, administration embarrassing themselves with something that should have been pretty straightforward. Don't understand why this continues to happen, but whatever. And look, based on how the State of the Union could go, we may learn that Trump might say he helped the men win gold by teaching them how to play hockey. We know nothing's past him. He might say, with Canada losing, he's going to up the tariffs on them. I don't know. Could go many directions with this speech on Tuesday. But kind of getting back to it, it's ridiculous that this is now part of the story where you have these women and men reaching kind of the pinnacle of their sport, winning an Olympic gold for their country, and because the president wanted to be a comedian, apparently, it now kind of sours the moment. And I would also love to know what Boomer Esiason has to say about this, because when we heard some of the athletes kind of speak out against necessarily the direction the country's going in, Boomer had a lot to say, basically telling them to, shut up, do your sport, represent the country, and then go home. So I feel like he's going to be offended that the women aren't going to show up because of this. He'll probably tell them that, they need to get over it and appreciate the honor. Or maybe Megyn Kelly will have something to say, since she had something to say about the figure skater who fell a couple of times and said it was because of her woke agenda. Like, it's, it's ridiculous how, leaps and bounds some people that, share a lot of the ideals of the administration will go to sound like complete idiots at certain situations. Or maybe Craig Carton will have something to say, since he thinks ESPN highlighting women's sports is the death of the network. Maybe he has something to say about the women not going. I applaud them for declining. They could have been the bigger person and went. For what? I don't think it's necessary, because clearly if they showed up, the administration clearly doesn't respect them. So if you're not going to respect them, then they don't need to respect your office and show up just so you can do your little dog and pony show during the State of the Union and bring them into it to get some cheers or something on your side. So good for them. And actually, the story doesn't end there, because with with everybody learning about the declining of the invitation from the women, Flavor Flav, of all people, has stepped up and is I guess he's kind of inviting the women. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but he's basically inviting the women to celebrate out in Vegas with him instead of, not doing anything by not going to the State of the Union address. I think Flavor Flav said that he's looking for, some hotels and airlines to kind of help coordinate everything, getting the athletes out there and giving them somewhere to stay and stuff like that. But shout out to Flavor Flav. That's the kind of stuff you want to hear when you have Olympians who are gold medalists and people kind of going out of their way to celebrate what they did, instead of the president making light of it and now looking like a complete fool for the declined invitation. Not this first. Definitely won't be his last. I'm pretty sure the Seahawks declined going to the White House after their Super Bowl win. So, yeah. Way to go, huh? Such a joke. But, yeah. So, I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a little bit here. Give you the update if you didn't know. So, if you do watch the State of the Union, I guess the men's team will be represented there while the women won't. And once again, we'll be reminded that, the president kind of screwed it up. Once again, not his first, won't be his last. So, if you like this episode, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a review, leave a comment. Let me know if you're okay with teams or athletes declining the invitation from the president, because we know it's definitely been a tradition for presidencies as far back as we can remember. You win a title, go to the White House, present the president with the jersey, take the picture, and then you kind of move on. We have seen as, I mean, the ironic part is that one side complains about politics being in sports, but they've always been there. We got to be real with ourselves, and people have their own strong beliefs. So yeah, you want to make light of the women, they're not going to show up, then you can no longer say anything about it because it wasn't their fault. That's it. But yeah, so thanks again, once again. Congratulations to the U.S. men and women for winning gold. But yeah, next Olympics will be in France in a couple of years. You know, we'll see how many members of each team will be there as well to kind of defend the gold medal, which would be a first for a lot of them, obviously, because the men haven't won in 46 years, so a lot of them will be first time defending it. But you know, we'll see how many of the women make it back. You know, is Hillary Knight play? I don't know. She's been to like 5 Olympics now. Oh, I shouldn't say before I get out of here. Shout out to Hillary Knight, who became the #1 U.S. hockey player, men and women, for goals with 15 and points with 33. She had the goal to send it to overtime. She was standing out in front. Shot from the point from Layla Edwards. She deflected it in. So she made history as well. Shout out to her. But that's all I got for you. Appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, any feedback is welcome feedback. So hit the like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, a comment, you know, critiquing or in support. I honestly don't care. Let me know what you think. So, enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. God bless. Until I talk to you next time, I'm out of here. All right?